Have you ever noticed how the most powerful things in nature are often the quietest? The sun rises over the horizon without a single sound, and the tallest trees in the forest grow in perfect stillness. We live in a world where everyone wants to be heard, but very few people actually want to listen. We believe that our words are our weapons, and we use them to win arguments, but in doing so, we often lose the people we care about. Today, I want to share a secret with you about a strength that is found only in the spaces between sounds. This is the story of a young man named Advait, who lived in a valley where the wind whispered through the tall, green bamboo groves. Advait was a brilliant student with a sharp mind and a tongue that was even sharper. He knew a lot about history, science, and the stars. However, he had a great flaw that followed him like a shadow. He felt a deep, burning need to always be right. In every conversation, he looked for a way to prove that he was more intelligent than others. If a friend made a small mistake, Advait would correct them loudly. If a neighbor shared a simple opinion, Advait would argue until the other person walked away in frustration. He thought he was winning, but he was actually building a wall of loneliness around himself. His stress grew because his brain was always on the defense, searching for the next point to prove. He was trapped in a life experiment where his ego was the master and his peace of mind was the servant. He was losing his friends and his inner calm, all for the sake of winning a debate. One morning, feeling the heavy weight of his broken relationships, Advait walked into the deep bamboo grove to find an old teacher named Kavi. Kavi was known for making the most beautiful music with his flutes, yet he rarely spoke a word to anyone. Advait began to complain loudly about how people did not understand his logic or his knowledge. Kavi listened until the wind settled and the birds stopped their songs. Then he handed Advait a simple bamboo flute that had no holes carved into it. He told Advait that his challenge was to go back to the village and spend 3 full days without speaking a single word. He was to use only his hands to communicate and keep the silent flute with him at all times. Advait was shocked and confused, but the deep silence of the grove made him agree to the task. The first day was a terrible struggle for Advait. When someone said something incorrect in the market, his throat burned with the desire to correct them. He felt a strange tension in his chest, a psychological pressure to prove his worth. But by the second day, something beautiful began to change inside him. Because he could not speak, he was forced to watch and listen. He saw the sadness in a merchant's eyes that he had never noticed before. He heard the kindness in a child's laughter. He realized that when he was busy talking, he was completely blind to the world around him. His silence became a mirror, showing him that his need to be right was just a mask for his own fear of being unimportant. On the 4th day, he returned to the grove to meet Kavi. The old man smiled and told him that words are like arrows. Once you release them from your mouth, you can never pull them back. If you shoot too many arrows, you will eventually hit something you love. Silence, the old man explained, is the bow. It is the silence that gives your words their true power, their weight, and their direction. He taught Advait that the wise person speaks only when their words are more beautiful than the silence they are breaking. Listening, he said, is the highest form of power because it allows you to understand the heart of the universe. This conversation felt like a journey of discovery for Advait. He saw that true communication is not about winning an argument. It is about building a bridge of connection. Advait went back to his life with a new perspective and a quiet heart. He found that by listening more, people actually respected his opinion much more when he finally did speak. In our modern world of 2026, we are surrounded by digital noise. Every social media comment and every group chat is a place where people are shouting just to be right. We have forgotten that silence is a superpower. A practical tip you can use today is the 3-second rule. In your next meeting or a difficult conversation, when someone finishes speaking, wait for 3 full seconds before you respond. This small gap allows your brain to move from a place of quick reaction to a place of deep wisdom. It ensures that you are listening to understand the person, not just listening to reply to them. In a world that cannot stop talking, your silence is your greatest strength. It allows you to see the truth before you open your mouth to speak. Remember, your intelligence is not measured by how many arguments you win, but by how much peace you bring to the table. True wisdom is knowing that you do not always have to have the last word. Speak only if your words improve the silence.